My dad is people's from Texas and Tennessee and Texas, right? And he used to ride in a rodeo, and we still had horses that we show. You would uh, show horses in the rodeo when I was a little kid, So I spent my time at rodeos and stuff, but I quit going after a while because we were poor, and mom would buy me Tough Skins and Converse because boots are expensive and boot cut jeans are expensive, and we were poor. I had Western shirts because you could buy those, and those were the uh, uh, same price as the other kids' shirts. So I had Western shirts like my father wore, right? But Dad had a pair of boots because he don't grow out his boots, and he had boot cut jeans because he don't tear them up like a little kid, and he don't grow out of them, right? So we went to the rodeo, and you get some of them snotty little rich kids that dads run the rodeo and shit. That boy trying to be a cowboy, he trying to look like a cowboy, and by that time I'd let my hair grow down to because I was really into Johnny Weissmiller and Thor and comic books and shit. And then after that, it was like that was the last straw. It's like motherfucker, and I was like, this is what my parents can afford to dress me in. And that was the same rodeo my dad took Oblige out, right? This is funny because this is horses. Okay. He takes Oblige out. And my dad was so embarrassed and so mad. But Oblige took him out. There was a quarter horse show horse thing. These beautiful horse flesh. Oblige is the most beautiful, gorgeous one there. He's this Palomino, sparkling muscles everywhere, right? And he proceeds to put his penis all the way down to the dirt, right? And my dad's standing there like, OB, OB, and he's OB. And it's like, and you're like, what is going on? And he didn't win because he had the son really hushed. It's like, what are you talking about? None of the other horses put their dick out because they couldn't measure up, right? So it was a dick measuring contest. And OB won. We didn't get the money, but OB with the rest of the horses, like, gorgeous, muscles, beautiful, biggest dick too. It was funny. When I was a kid, I was mortified for Dad because I was raised Mormons. When I talked in spirit and prayer and explained it to Saladin and to Little Hawk, they're like, especially Little Hawk, whoa. You need to give me that horse, right? His mom is kind. He protects his mom. he's, he's the only one that's got a big dick. He is. Remember that Russian rap? I'm the only one that's got a big dick. You're not the only one. You're not the only one that's got a big dick. Well, at that rodeo, OB was. Okay. He was the dude, right? Mortified my dad. He wanted to beat the hell out of that horse. Okay. Embarrassed him in public. I was mortified for Dad when I was a kid. Now I look back on it and I can't stop laughing, right? That's what you get for putting a bunch of horses in a dick measuring contest for money. It's very funny, right? So you get people like, hey, man, I don't make the news. I just report it. You know what I mean? So you sit there and you get people and you're like, damn, they crazy, right? And they do crazy things and they say crazy things and they think it's logical. They think it's reasonable. They think it's intelligent, right? And they keep doing the same crazy shit over and over again. They talk about justice. They talk about peace. They talk about truth. They talk about faith. They talk about honesty is such a lonely word. Everyone is so untrue. Woo, 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 woo. Honesty's hardly ever heard and mostly what I need from you. I'm Roger Podactor. I'm an overactor. I don't know who Roger Podactor is, but that name came up recently and it just stuck in my head for some reason. But we'll figure that out later. Not that I really care. No, I don't. It's like Sarah on The Big Bang Theory. My name's Sarah. Not that anyone cares, right? So, and I'm leaving too. Not that anyone cares. But it's funny. It was very funny. But the thing about it is, it was making fun of our dysfunction. It wasn't conjunction, junction, what's your function, doing anything functional, so we could all live lives just doing things carefree and going down a walk by the lake and see a duck and a drake. And you would always wonder what they could say if they could speak, right? Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up where I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful, right? Returning the restoration of the meaning of words of the Gospels. Conjunction, junction, I'm gonna get you there if you're very careful, right? So, Earl, I forgot what I was gonna talk about and say. Yeah. I just started on that and started on a tangent on an old warhorse story, and it worked out pretty good. Yeah. I'm just going to let prayer take over instead of Earl. Because Earl, when he talks, he pisses self righteous people off, and then they think, he's just mad because he ain't got no money. You're just pissed off because you're too big of a coward to stand up for Lord's Prayer. What do you think you are, General George Armstrong Custer and his brother Tom in Boston, and Callahan is his brother-in-law there? What were you thinking? No wonder Benteen and Major Reno said, fuck him, just leave him there. He gets off on killing women and children and kidnapping women and children and threatening to kidnap women and children if everybody doesn't surrender. That's his thing. That's not Surrender to Love by Otmar Liebert, one of Patrick's favorites. Have you ever heard that song? Boo-da-doom, ba-boom. Patrick loves that song. He's seen him 3 times. He goes, Dad, I've seen Otmar in concert 3 times. People are just jealous because he's taken flamenco to a different form of art so people in our generation can enjoy it and pass it on to other future generations. I was like, I totally agree. My mom says, his name's Otmar Liebert. He plays flamenco guitar? I just don't believe it's going to be very good. Germans, are you serious? My mom was part German, right? Then she looks at the thing, reads it, and goes, Chinese and German? Oh, but Hungarian. That's where the flingo guitar comes from, right? I'm like, ma. It's the funny thing is she could be right. Germans, their thing of fashion is, mama's got a squeeze box, daddy never sleeps at night, and here's some schnitzel and strudel and some beer. And, that's their idea of passion, right? Germans are a little bit different about passion than a Hungarian or a Italian or a Spaniard. They're different, Ingersneisen, Sossen, eat the strudel, eat the bone, get the busy bone. Germans are really different. They're up in the cold and you got, the thing. So, it's like an Alaskan and a New Mexican, radically different, right? New Mexicans, we like chili on everything. We really like brown, especially in the faces, in the people, in the places, and in the eyes. We like black and brown. Black and brown. We're really into black and brown. We like black eyes, black hair, and brown skin, right? And we like to say things like "Hinju," "Yatta," "Orale." We like to say things like that because these are the people in our neighborhood. Right? So we like where we live, and that's why we live here. Okay? If we wanted to be an all-American boy, which those pictures were all over my grandma's house. My mom never said anything about it, because she didn't like the song. She thought it was kind of sucked, and she wasn't into that kind of propaganda because she was raised by a sergeant major who was an atheist and very mean and killed more people for the U.S. government than John Dillinger and Al Capote combined killing in their whole lives, right? And so, I'm saying there. So my mom wasn't real particularly fond of Bobby Bears and Jim Parsons, which was, and it was all over the place. And after my grandpa died, Grandma took all those down. Apparently she wasn't real fond of the song either. She was more into Jimmy Rogers, High-Powered Mama, and Slim Whitman. Una Paloma Blanca. I'm just a bird in the sky. I can't hold notes and yodel like Jimmy or Slim. My favorite yodeler, though, is Slim Whitman. When the cattle are prowling and you hear that good old cattle call. My grandma's a yodeler, not me, so don't criticize. But I read Slim Whitman. Yeah, he's my favorite yodeler. He has such a good voice, too. I remember you. You're the one who's a few years ago, a couple of years. And when the angels ask me to recall the thrill of it all, I will tell them I remember. They used that for a zombie movie. That's how everybody knows that song. It was used in a zombie movie for comedy because people thought it was a goofy-ass song and fucked up. That's a pretty song. You're just stupid. Una paloma blanca. I'm just a bird in the sky. You probably don't even like Farron Young's, not Farron Young. No, Hoyt accent. No, it's not a Hoyt accent. God dang it. Who's the one? I can't remember. But can't remember his name. Hoyt Axton wrote Joy to the World, y'all. Three Dog Night. Furlin Husky. That's it. On the wings of us. It's a total limerick. But people love to sing it because it's so hopeful, comic booky, you know. On the wings of a snow-white dove, he sends his pure, sweet love. It's a sign from above on the wings of a dove. And then when a dove flies in the yard and it's white and it has a dollar tucked to it, and NASA did it and they're laughing, they think it's a sign from God for us to continue to make money on the gospel network. And everybody will believe it. It's a miracle. And all the guys at NASA are over there laughing their ass off going, man, these people are so easy to program. Let's dress them up in Kevlar and point them at Mexicans and El Salvadorians and Venezuelans. Kill, 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 kill. Why? Because the white dove with the dollar and it wrapped around its legs said so. Catch that pigeon? It's not a pigeon, it's a dove. Yeah, but they're all a bunch of pigeons, aren't they? Girl, I love you too. Tuppence, tuppence, feed the birds. Tuppence, tuppence. You know, I knew a man with a wooden leg named Smith. Really? What was the name of the other leg? You had a butt kicking contest and you ain't got a leg to stand on it. I just took your wooden leg away from you. Okay? Captain Ahab and Long John Silver. I love you too, huh?